A very handsome, serious Japanese man was in front of me, and from all that seriousness, he started to laugh. Dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I want to share with you how languages can really help us share, connect, and even save our lives. I was practicing kendo when I was 16 years old, and I was there saluting my Japanese sensei, and Nihongo means Japanese language. So he looked at me full of hope. And then I continued, "Gahanasemasen," which means I don't speak it. Of course, he understood what I wanted to say. And all of a sudden, of course, he was very serious. But then he started to laugh. And the fact that, of course, I didn't pronounce it correctly, still, he appreciated because I used the conversation guide to learn these words. And he really appreciated that. That was an effort. I made it by myself because I wanted to connect with him. And he really liked that. And that sparkled a great connection that we had from that moment continuously some years until he left, because he was the Japanese cultural attaché at the embassy, who was also our sensei of kendo. But that moment stayed with me. I understood that if you want to reach people easier, you need at least to make the effort and to speak few words in their language, no matter how hard that is. And what I noticed is whenever I was going, for instance, to Turkey, I was like, "Teşekkür ederim." Of course, I don't speak it correctly. I don't pronounce it correctly. Still, I'm trying. And people are like, "Oh, güle güle." Or if I go to Greece, I'm trying to say "Efaristopoli." And they appreciate that. Everybody appreciates when you start to say few words in their languages. And what I noticed is that not only you manage to connect with them, but it's also a message that you pass, like, "I am here, I honor you, I'm curious about you, I want to know more." And why not to know your culture, your language, your habits, everything. So if the first part is the first story I told you, it's more like breaking the ice. The second one would be like, "I see you, I honor you, I honor your culture, your language." I would like to share with you a third story where languages, they are really important because they can even save your life. And I want to tell you about a Croatian girl who was 13 years old, and a few years ago she had a brain accident. She was in coma a few days. Luckily, she woke up. When she woke up, she didn't speak Croatian at all. She didn't remember any word in her mother tongue. Imagine that. You are in a coma, you have an identity, and all of a sudden you lost your identity. still, she started to speak in German. Everybody was perplexed. They were astonished. How is this possible? Her parents were saying that she never managed to speak German very correct, but this time she was very well in German. The doctors, they said that sometimes the brain tries to cope with these damages. And if one part of the brain that it's connected to languages is damaged, if you know more languages, one of the other language that you might know can take over. And this is not an isolated case. Therefore, dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and dear friends, I encourage you to learn as many languages as you can, because it's not anymore something extraordinary if you know 2 languages, if you know 3 languages, but if you know 4 languages, who knows? Maybe it's the bridge to a friendship, to a culture, or a new life.